All right, so let's get to the women's Royal Rumble here, which again you got the chalk. I thought Becky, leading up to it, I thought Becky was going to win because I thought that Rhea would be eliminated by Beth Phoenix. Instead, though, I was right about Beth Phoenix, but they did the Beth Phoenix spot during the men's Rumble match. Okay, so you got that out of the way, which cleared the way for Rhea to win the women's Royal Rumble. Becky ended up getting eliminated by Damage. I thought Damage Control were big stars during the Royal Rumble. They got a bunch of eliminations there. I thought they did a terrific job. Let's start with some of the smaller stuff from the women's Rumble. Chelsea Green. We got Chelsea Green, and she was eliminated immediately.
Fastest women's elimination of all time.
I mean, what are we doing there? Like, why are we? What's the point in her being in it if she's going to get eliminated like that?
Well, isn't her whole thing that she's like a psycho, and she's like,
yeah, she's got like the hot mess gimmick.
Yeah, and then they did like a digital exclusive. They do those on Twitter where she got interviewed backstage.
Oh, afterward?
And she was like losing her mind.
Okay.
I'm supposed to have the title. That's supposed to be my title shot. You. She's like pointing at people. So I think that's going to be where they go with that.
All right. So they're gonna see who could do the hot mess character better, her or Dakota Kai, because that's also Dakota Kai's character.
Can I just say, like, she's a star, Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think at some point, they're going to break up eventually, and I think she's in the title picture.
I agree.
I'm big Dakota Kai fan.
So who were the first two entrants for the women? I'm blanking on it. Who were the first two?
Well, Rhea was one.
Oh yeah, Rhea was one. Okay, which so cool when she she's definitely gonna win.
And Liv Morgan. It was her and Liv. And
okay.
That, by the way, that's a cool thing they did with both Rumbles, where they started it with a past feud.
How about, by the way, this had to have been the first time that this has ever happened, where in the men's Rumble, the last two remaining were number 1 and number 30. Has to be the first time.
Yeah.
Gunther and Cody Rhodes. That was cool.
By the way, it's probably got to be the first time. Well, the women's Rumble's only been around for a few years, but
like 6 years, yeah.
But the first time that number 1 went coast to coast in both Rumbles.
Yeah. So Rhea, of course, wins. She was amazing. She's a huge star. There were other things that I really liked in it as well. My girl Piper Niven. So Doudrop comes back. I'm a big fan of Doudrop, and I was hoping this is the time. If they're ever going to change her name back to Piper Niven, a lot of people may not know, like, she was Piper Niven for a long time, NXT UK, and she's a total badass. And
she's cool.
And so she's back as Piper Niven, which was the Piper the Viper Niven. So she was back as Piper Niven, which is really cool.
Wait, was her nickname really the Viper, or did you just say that?
No, her name's the Viper.
I don't remember that.
Because I remember like part of it, some people think that part of the look, Doudrop's a ridiculous name, but there was also the thought that, Vince McMahon was, we already have a Viper. We can't have two Vipers. Which is stupid. Why can't you got two Vipers?
Right.
So she's Piper the Viper Niven, but maybe they won't call her the Viper because we already have
Orton might not ever come back, so maybe she gets it.
So I really dug Piper Niven being in there. Did you see, by the way, I don't know when it happened, did you see Sonya Deville had a massive gash above her eye?
I don't know what happened there. I didn't see it.
Rhea got bloody also. I love when you got the accidental blood. Rhea was bloody too. So she had a phenomenal performance. She's a major star. What else did you like about the women?
I mean, on Sonya, like, why is she in the match?
What do you mean?
She's getting her title shot on SmackDown.
Yeah, but she wants to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but again, it's like one of those things where it's like, we already have her story. She's getting her title shot on SmackDown. She's not headlining Mania. Why is she in the match? There's not one other woman. Again, like, I mean, I guess not, because what was there, like 4 NXT girls on?
How about not a single NXT participant on the men's side? Not one.
I know. Crazy. Oh, it's probably because there was like what? You had Roxanne Perez, you had Zoe Stark. Was there another one? I think there was at least one other one. Oh, Indy Hartwell.
Yes, I like that Indy was there. That was cool. Yeah.
And there may have even been another one. I'm forgetting. You know who can tell us? Victor will tell us next week. I
was hoping to get Toxic Attraction, but they got their own story going on right now in NXT where they're fighting Roxanne for the title.
Yeah, but Roxanne was in it.
Yeah.
They could have continued. They actually could have continued that storyline.
I think Roxanne may be from that area, though. I think that's also a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah, maybe. What else did I like? Asuka, heel Asuka.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah.
She was great.
I feel like a big part of her gimmick now is that she sticks her tongue out, which whatever.
She's a tiger.
Her tongue was she was doing the hacksaw Jim Duggan tongue thing.
Oh, she should come to the ring saying ho.
Yeah, you know what? She might be. Who knows what she's saying? But I would have. I wouldn't have minded getting another moment with her and Io Shirai.
Yeah, I was hoping for that. We didn't get it.
Those are always good. But no,
Nia Jax returning at number 30. That was you called that. That was awesome.
I also texted you because like Piper Niven comes out, crowd's hot, they're happy to see her back, and then we get Tamina, and everyone's like the crowd goes mild.
Tamina.
But I did text you and I go But what did I say? I said I'm pretty sure they're bringing Tamina out here to swerve us into thinking Nia Jax isn't coming, and then Nia Jax shows up.
Yeah, I loved.
But they jumped the gun on that, didn't they? Jump the gun on it?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, her music started playing and the clock didn't even start yet.
Yeah, it was like what? Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter because it didn't matter because it was a surprise anyways. But yeah, that was
and it was number 30.
That too. Here's the funny thing with the clock and the ramp and the entrances is
it's definitely not always 2 minutes. They speed it up sometimes, right?
Well, but I think part of it is like we can't have you have a mile-long entry ramp. We can't have these full entrances, guys.
No, I liked it. I liked it. By the time some of them got to the ring, the clock was up again. I liked it.
That's what I mean. It's like why do we need to like Karrion Kross? We got to have the whole thing with him and
I like it
and Scarlett. When there's
remember,
only
it was a
seconds.
few years ago where they were coming to the ring on the scooter. You remember?
No,
they showed the wrestler entering. All right, it was a super long runway. They showed the wrestler entering, and then they took the camera off them and put it back on the action because they were getting on like one of those like little ring scooters that would bring them to the ring.
Well, let's just bring back the little mobile ring that they
from WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, let's bring back that.
WrestleMania 6 too.
Yeah, let's just bring that back.
Yeah, they did that a few years ago where you had the scooter, and then I like when they're running to the ring. I dig it.
No, I don't know.
And Nikki Cross, by the way, went full Ultimate Warrior, where she sprinted the whole way.
That was awesome. That was really cool. I think that was it. I mean, Nia Jax showing up was good. I'll be interested to see what they do with her. She
looked good too.
Speaking of accidental blood, I'm sure we're going to get some now that she's back.
She looked good too.
Hey, now we potentially get to have the Becky Nia Jax payoff.
Yeah, right? I mean, obviously we're still entrenched in Becky damage control. Obviously, but maybe I still think Becky Charlotte is the go-to for WrestleMania. I think you gotta play up the real life heat with the two of them. But otherwise, can Nia Jax come back and say, I got some unfinished business with Becky Lynch? Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was fun. There was a lot of interest. I don't like that they keep putting Michelle McCool in the Rumble. Like, can we not get another former women's wrestler in the Rumble? Like, there's so many of them. Like, why does she keep getting in the Rumble?
It's Undertaker's wife, dude. Like,
I get it, but it's not Undertaker. It's his wife. I feel like she's in it every year now. And by the way, was I wrong that Lacey Evans looks exactly like her now? Like I thought it was like the Spider-Man meme in the ring. They're like the same person now.
Tell you what, man, Lacey Evans is mean. She's so mean.
She's so mean. Did you see that when she came back on SmackDown, she obviously did when she was coming out, she did the fake high five to the kid with Down syndrome?
I did. That is an all-time heel move.
By the way, after the show, Kevin Owens gave that kid his shirt.
Good.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah. It's a major heel move by Lacey Evans, but I kind of feel like we got to not do that. I feel like we got to find a different fan to do it.
Yeah, and also like maybe not when you're Lacey Evans. You know what I mean? Like you haven't earned the right to do something like that. And not that anybody's earned the right to be that much of a dick, but like
Sasha Banks had the all-time heel move. Remember with what's her name with Izzy when Izzy was
that. But I love that. But that was awesome.
Yes, it was awesome. It's a great heel move. Izzy didn't have Down syndrome. Izzy
didn't have Down syndrome, and also Sasha Banks one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the history of the business. Lacey Evans changes her gimmick every 3 months because she stinks, right? So and
WWE is so good when it comes to, I mean, not that the kid with Down syndrome was dying, but Make a Wish, all that stuff. WWE is so good with all of that stuff. It's a major heel move. I feel like we got to not do the heel interactions with the kid with Down syndrome.
Now I'll give her a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
Maybe she didn't know.
I don't think it was like planned. I think she was walking and she saw a fan and did it.
Yeah.
But maybe it was an accident. I don't think she was like, okay, that kid is. By the way, I'm not even gonna get into her thoughts on certain things because she's, we know based on her Twitter how she feels about how certain things develop.
You feel like she was walking down. She goes, "That kid must have taken the vax."
I think Lacey Evans was like, "That's a vaxxer." Yeah, that was. But good on Kevin Owens for I don't know if he did it because of that or just.
I'm sure he did. I think KO's real sensitive to that type of stuff. I think KO's son has autism.
Okay.
I think he's high functioning.
Oh, so Lacey Evans hates Kevin Owens' son too.
Right. It's like she probably had a conversation with KO. How about no vaccine? Your kid would not have autism, which is insane. Yeah. By the way, for anyone listening to me say that, it is insane. Okay.
Yeah. No, Lacey Evans. Guys, Mandy Rose got fired for showing her tits, and Lacey Evans is still a heel character in WWE after saying vaccines cause autism.
Living the gimmick, man.
I mean, Jesus. All right. But anyways, no, I think the highlight for me, Rhea winning was cool, but the highlight for me is Asuka. I can't wait to see what happens there. I think she should be rocket ship with this gimmick. But I don't know what that means.
Well, I just hope going into WrestleMania and maybe now Elimination Chamber. I don't know if you're going to get a women's Elimination Chamber match, but can we get women's feuds that don't revolve around the titles? Like, can we get secondary women's feuds?
Yep.
I think that's what we're looking for here in the build to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Who makes sense for Asuka? Like before she left.
I mean, I think Io Sky is. I would like to see. I mean, you're telling me Asuka and Io Sky can't put together a banger of a match? We know they can.
Yeah. Former tag partners, right?
Yeah.
In Japan. But
Asuka, but don't we want Asuka to be a heel? Isn't she going to be super serious now? Like there was no way she was going to be a heel last night because she's kind of returning from being off TV for a little bit, and she got the new face paint, so everybody was going to love it. She's going to be a baby face last night. But now moving forward, I feel like we were trending in the direction the last time we saw Asuka of heel Asuka.
Yeah, we got a lot of weirdos in the women's division right now. We got weirdo Alexa Bliss, we got weirdo Nikki Cross. We got weirdo Dakota Kai and Io Sky, her whole drunk gimmick. And then we got weirdo Asuka.
Cool spot, by the way, where Asuka misses Rhea with the mist. It hits Liv. Yeah. Asuka gets eliminated. I was like, oh man, Liv, can you do it while you're blinded? She couldn't do it.
By the way, and here's again, Rhea's incredible, and Rhea doesn't need to win the Rumble to potentially have a Mania main event because she's that good. Wouldn't have minded seeing Asuka win there. I really wouldn't.
She won the first ever.
Yeah. And it was awesome. Right. And she's awesome. Like she's so good. She's one of the best they have.
Triple H knows how good she is. So
right. Yeah. And allowing her to bring back this gimmick that she used to do in Japan with the crazy face paint and all that. Let's see where it goes. I'm excited about that.
All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to the main event. I don't know how much about the match we need to actually talk about. It was not about the match. Okay. The match was good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Roman wins it. Pretty ho-hum way to win. I mean, he's smashing his head against the steel.
That part was gross.
I don't know how KO pulls that off without really getting hurt,
Especially the second one. The second one was worse than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how he pulls it off safely, but he must have. And
you could tell Corey Graves too was like, we don't need to see this replay. Like that seemed genuine when he said that on the commentary.
And then he gets the spear 1, 2, 3. I dig it. That's realistic. If you're going to hit your head like that against the steel steps, let's capitalize. Roman wins, and then we get to the finish. So
good moment before Roman spears KO into the barricade with Sammy like, stay down, just end it, stay down, and KO's like grabbing at his leg.
Yeah.
Like for help, and Sammy's just like, stay down. Like the best part of the match was the reactions from Sammy on the outside.
There was never really a moment where we thought KO was going to win, right?
No.
Yeah.
But
like there was no like false fit. I mean, yes, he stunned him. The referee was out. Okay. But there was never a real moment where we thought that the title was going to change hands because it wasn't about that. So,
and even like when right before Roman's about to finish, right before he's about to finish KO, he's looking at Sammy and Heyman, and Heyman's like, "This is why I love you. This is why Shmuley loves you. Acknowledge your tribal chief. Oh, I acknowledge you." And Sammy like very gingerly puts the one up, like he's hesitant, like he doesn't want to do it anymore. Like they're obviously, that was those parts of the actual match were the best part to me. The match itself was fine.
So the rest of the bloodline shows up seemingly out of nowhere. They teleported to the ring. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we get, the handcuffs, the whole deal. They're beating KO down. And then we get the big finish, man. But they did a great job where everyone loves Roman, but they didn't like the way Roman was treating Sammy in that spot. He's doing the face mush and all of it. And so the setup was great because the setup gave you the massive reaction from the crowd when Shmuley finally hits Roman with the chair. You got biggest pop of the year. Like it was pretty enormous.
Biggest pop in years, maybe.
It was enormous. Enormous pop for Sammy there. And you got the FU Roman chant. Yep.
The whole thing, even before that, like just the details, right? So Jay thinks the match is over. Jay thinks Sammy passed the test. Here you go. I'm going to put the lay on Sammy.
Yeah.
No. Roman stops
ready for that.
Roman stops him. No. We're not done yet. And then the beatdown starts. And then like the Usos and Solo are beating the shit out of KO, and Roman has his arm around Sammy and he's directing traffic.
Yep.
It's just like beautiful. And by the way, we talk about it all the time. Like that segment is probably not as good if Michael Cole's not on commentary. He's the best ever. His reactions, the way he's just like, it's enough. Just stop it. This isn't like the way Cole reacts and tells the story as it's going on. I don't think there's ever been anyone better at that.
You love him.
Job. That what he does and that. Can you imagine? We have a segment like that and it's Excalibur. I mean, or Tony
I thought you were going to
Schiavone.
say, can you imagine we have a segment again? It's Kevin Patrick, which would not have been nice to say.
Or even Jim Ross. Like Jim Ross was great. But like Jim Ross would have been like, oh my God.
No son of a bitch.
Yeah. But he's great. And then like, Roman, the stuff that Roman was saying, I don't know how much of it you caught.
I think I did.
But like Roman is handing the chair to Sammy, right? And he's telling him, he's like, when you're in this ring, when you're with the bloodline, this ring is yours. And if you don't want it, go do jackass shit.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, that was great. Yeah.
A year ago, he was doing the jackass match with.
Yeah, so that was great.
That was.
And also, this is my life. These are my brothers. You know.
Yep. And by the way, it's continuing this arc of Roman is losing his mind. He's losing his mind. And it's like, it's very classic in history, in TV, in like real life history, in TV shows. It's the classic, like the leader's power continues to grow so much that they become paranoid and they don't trust anybody. And this is where I think we're going with Roman, where like he's become so powerful and he's become so big that it's like he's paranoid and his mind is starting to get away from him and he's just like nuts, which is cool because I think we're starting to see the fractures there. But yeah, I mean, there's so much. I literally have like a page of notes.
So my favorite part of it, because here's where I'm hoping they go. All right. So my favorite part of it was Jay. I thought Jay was the star of this segment because like Jay had done a complete 180 as far as his character where he hates Sammy and like Sammy broke his heart now.
Yeah.
Broke his heart. And but at the same time, while Sammy broke his heart, there also seems to be an element where Sammy knows, like Sammy. I don't know if he knows. Jay, excuse me. I don't know if he knows that Sammy was right, but the way that Jay left the ring, I feel like there's going to be some sympathy there from Jay. Like he didn't like that they were beating him down. He didn't like what they were doing to Sammy there, so he had to leave.
Yeah, so I think the general reaction to most people was Jay left the bloodline. He turned his back on the bloodline, which is possible. But I also thought he was ashamed. I thought maybe part of it is that he's ashamed.
Oh, he feels that he's let the bloodline down.
He let the blood. I think maybe part of it is maybe he left because like he had his head in his hands. The way he's looking at Roman, he looked like a person who was ashamed of what he did. Like a Like,
well, and how about he was yelling to Sammy before Jimmy came in with the super kick, and he's
that was, by the way,
what are you doing?
I think I told you. The second time I watched this, like this morning when I rewatched it, I got goosebumps, and the moment I got goosebumps was when Sammy turned to Jay and was like, "I'm sorry." Like that was like, oh man, that's theater at its best, right there.
Yeah, because
like,
I think the next time we see Sammy, he's still gonna be like he still loves Jay.
Yeah, and now let me pose this thought to you: if Jay, whether Jay's in the bloodline or not, Jimmy Uso is full-fledged heel now, and it was great.
Yeah,
he snapped in that moment, right? Yeah. And he's just a badass.
He wasn't about hearing an explanation. You're getting kicked in the head now.
And they've sort of teased that for a long time too. Remember, there were moments. He's always been the one who's like had Sammy's back. He's the one he has the handshake with Sammy.
Yeah.
But remember, there's been a couple times on TV where Jimmy had the moment with Roman where he's like, "You're my family, like I'm with you no matter what." So they've sort of been teasing him, not really giving a shit about
And
Sammy.
Jimmy's always been kind of like, he's just been about having fun. Whatever is fun.
What if could we see Roman take, because now we have tag champions who aren't really on the same page. Jimmy's full-fledged heel. Solo throughout this, Solo doesn't change a bit. Solo's just a badass wrecking machine.
He's with Roman no matter what.
Could we, and Solo is an Uso. Could we see Roman take half of the tag titles off of Jey Uso and make Solo and Jimmy the tag champs?
I don't think so, because I don't think Solo is interested in that. I mean, look, Solo's interested in whatever, the Tribal Chief wants him to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know that it's believable that Solo gives a shit about tag team. Like, I think, look, his name is Solo. I don't think he's about being on a team. Sure. Now, granted, he's about the bloodline, he's about the family, but I think Solo fights Solo. I don't think he has a partner when he's in the matches.
Yeah.
But how about this? So here's what I'm hoping. I mean, it's a big ask, but is it look, everyone, and Triple H, I know, talked about The Rock in the press conference, and Triple H said, listen, he's really busy. He would run through, hellfire and brimstone to do something with us if he could, if his schedule allowed it. But who knows? We'll see what happens. I think he was being honest. I don't know. But I, for one, do not believe the whole idea that The Rock, who looks like the freaking Incredible Hulk in his videos, cannot get ready for a match at WrestleMania. I don't believe that. Is it possible, like, Jay walking out, like, is Jay going to go call The Rock? Can Jay call The Rock to like, this is crazy what's going on here? Can Jay be leaving to call The Rock? Is that how they get him involved now, that Jay's going to be the one to bring Rock in the fold? Can that happen?
Or Jay calls his dad, who calls The Rock. Rikishi.
Yeah, maybe. I did it for The Rock.
Yeah, it's possible. I have had this like thought in my mind of like NWO and NWO Wolfpack, where we have two bloodlines. And Jay leads one and Roman leads another. because there are other people that you could bring into the bloodline, like in other shows, other companies. There's been rumors of people coming into WWE that are Usi. So, you know, I have this vision in my mind where it's like two bloodlines feuding with each other. But yes, this could be the way they bring in The Rock, and I guess it'd be fine. But I'm fine without it. To be honest, I love The Rock, and having The Rock.
I'm fine without it too. I'm fine without it too.
Jay and Sammy are like two of the best things going in wrestling right now. Like, I don't know if you need to overshadow them with The Rock. I get it. It's WrestleMania. It's in Hollywood. You want eyeballs on it because it's the biggest show of the year, but The Rock can do anything and get eyeballs.
So Sammy's got to be off TV for a few weeks. Does Jay have to be off TV also to be wondering what's happening there, or do we got to hear immediately?
Yeah,
we got to hear from Jay right away. Like, are we gonna? Is Roman, is the Bloodline opening the show Monday night?
That's what I was wondering too, because they're not really Raw, but I guess they're both.
I think Cody has to open the show Monday nights.
Yeah, probably.
But are we then waiting until Friday to hear from the Bloodline?
Possible. Why not? You should wait. I mean, we should wait to hear from the biggest act in wrestling. Like,
I think we should wait too.
But yeah, I think Sammy's off.
The two Royal Rumble winners are from Raw. Like, one of them's opening the show. Probably right. Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think Sammy's at least off air this week, but I think they gotta continue.
KO should be off air too. KO should be gone for a little while too.
I gotta think he is, right? I mean, that guy just kills himself too. I mean, just let him rest, if anything. Like, give him some time to rest. But man, I just can't even emphasize enough that I think this is one of the greatest segments in the history of wrestling.
It was.
And
even little stuff where you look at the crime scene once the Bloodline left the ring, and KO is attached to the ropes and Sammy is dead on the ground, and you got the rose petals that are sprinkled all over the mat. Like, just that shot right there. It was awesome.
Go back for anybody, you, Zaz, or anybody, go back and watch when Jimmy and Solo are beating the crap out of Sammy, and just watch Roman. He's on his knees, losing his mind. Like, everything I did for you, this is how you, like a maniac losing his mind. It was amazing. It's too good. It's too good. By the way, I don't know if they intended this, and I would love to, like, one day just interview Paul Heyman about this segment, about the things that happened, because he obviously has a big hand in, like, scripting this stuff. But when Sammy has the chair and Roman is, like, trying, before he starts mushing his face, which is like the last straw, he looks at him and he goes, "Are you crying?" He's crying. And he looks at Heyman and he goes, he looks at Sammy, he goes, "Are you crying?" And then he looks at Heyman and he goes, "He's crying." And Heyman goes, "There's no crying in the Bloodline."
I didn't know
and
that.
I'm like, oh, they just did a League of Their Own shout. Like, I don't know if they intended to, like, reenact a League of Their Own in that moment, but they kind of did. And it was awesome. It was really funny.
We're so entrenched still. This Bloodline storyline is not going away anytime soon. Thank God. That, I mean, Cody Rhodes comes out on Monday. If he challenges Roman Reigns, like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We all know
he doesn't have to challenge him because there's only one champion and he gets a title shot. Yeah.
Right. But, like, if he were to come out, it's like, I'm coming after Roman Reigns. No one's going to care about that right now.
Yeah. Well, not. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy, right? Like,
crazy.
They'll figure it out. They're just.
I'm sure there's a major plan, but I'm interested in how they're going to get to the place of Roman versus Cody to get us to care.
Cody's going to talk about how, I mean, the storyline is it's a natural build, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cody's whole gimmick, even the start of his
but none
music,
of us want to see it right now. None of us.
Yeah, I know, but they'll figure. I mean, the whole thing with
We're 2
Cody,
months away.
His music starts by saying there's more than one royal family of wrestling, and obviously he meant that as the McMahons when he made that music, but like it right now it fits that his whole gimmick is that my family.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's
everything.
Cool.
Did everything for this business, and then Roman's whole gimmick is the bloodline. So
yeah, that's cool.
The problem is Cody doesn't have anybody like to back him up. He's by himself.
I know we
Dustin's
can't get Goldust to come on over.
He's in AEW.
How about Cody paying a little bit tribute there, giving Shattered Dreams there to Gunther and doing the whole, the whole Goldust mannerisms? That was good stuff.
That was cool. He does that in his matches too. Like he'll do this thing too, where he does like the callback.
Well, that was like when he came back at WrestleMania. Yeah. And early in the match, and he did the cartwheel and he did the Stardust move. That's what really got me going. Like, this is way freaking cool. You know? That was kind of like he was exercising the demons.
Right.
In that moment.
Yeah.
That shit
Cody is just I always loved him in WWE. And even back then, I was like, obviously Vince McMahon never liked Dusty Rhodes. That's why he wore polka dots.
I mean, that's the story.
Right. Well, and then he made Dustin Rhodes become Goldust. Which he got over.
Yeah, but it's a Hall of Fame character, you know?
Right. Well, because of Dustin Rhodes, not because of the character. Could have failed very easily.
Because we were not as accepting of that kind of person back then.
Exactly. As well. Yeah. And then every gimmick they gave to Cody after he was in
Legacy.
After Legacy.
Yeah.
Every gimmick he got was shitty. But he gets everything. He got all of them over. He got Stardust over. He got the mustache gimmick over. He got the face mask gimmick over. And always back then, I'm like, man, if he can do this stuff, if he can make these things work, this guy's a star. And now when you hear him talk, he almost cried in the press conference.
Oh, like, really?
He lives it.
Are those press conferences available? Like, can I watch them now?
It's part of the Rumble. It's like part of the replay on Peacock.
Oh, so like it's on Peacock? Okay. All right.
Yeah, like right after right after it goes off the air, it continues. It's like a 5-hour show on Peacock.
I think it's 6 hour actually. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And but the end of it is the press conference.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that.
And do yourself a favor, just skip Rhea Ripley and Bray, because it's just like I felt uncomfortable watching that part, because I'm like Rhea was being so friendly and like complimenting people and stuff. I'm like, I want to see mommy, right? I don't want real Rhea Ripley right after let's continue the gimmick. But the Cody stuff it's really good, and Cody can carry his storyline by himself for a while until he finally has like his run in with Roman.
Really fun night.
Yeah,
it was all about the end. Really fun night. Sets up a great time of year. Great season we got coming up for WrestleMania.
I can't wait I genuinely can't wait for Elimination Chamber. I know Mania is what we're looking for.
How much better is Elimination Chamber now as the February pit stop, as opposed to, what it used to be? It was called I don't know. It had a random name. It was just some random show.
Yeah.
In February.
It was something with like a
Roadblock. Roadblock.
Yeah. I was going to say it was like a car theme or something.
Roadblock. Yeah. Like Elimination Chamber is so much better to be in between.
And there's stakes, right? And there's stakes involved. And you know what I was thinking? I know this is a random thought. Could they do Becky and Bayley in the Elimination Chamber without other people, just having them in there? Because they were supposed to do a cage match, damage control interferes. So they should, the natural progression there would be Hell in a Cell, but you can't do Hell in a Cell.
I don't think you could wait a month to do it. I think it's got to come within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, you think it's on free TV?
Yeah, like it was supposed to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can wait a month. I think it's going to happen soon. Really good job, man. This was fun. I hope everyone enjoyed the weekend. It was a really great weekend. Monday night show is probably going to be a lot of fun as well, man. Shit's hot right now. Really good stuff. Fun night, man.
Great. Yep.
Joey, tell all your Legion of fans you'll speak to them next week. Go ahead,
guys. We'll talk a little more AEW next week, but this was all about the Bloodline and Royal Rumble. But hey, thanks for tuning in anyways. I love all of you. I love all the fans. I really appreciate you. Even you disgusting marks out there, I love you too.
Wow. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming next Saturday with next week's edition. I'm sure there'll be a lot to cover. We'll be able to get back to mixing in AEW as well, of It's Still Real to Me. We'll talk to you guys then. See ya.